Hi, I'm Annie. Welcome back to our YouTube channel on Road to Reliance. Today I am making peach butter. Now I've never made this before, and I actually got the recipe from, I believe it's Prairie Homestead. So to get started, let me give you a little story. So we went to the farmer's market and they had peaches on sale, and it was like, I don't know, $25 for like 40 pounds of peaches. And I was going to buy them, but I've never canned peaches before or made anything with them. So I kind of wanted to start off small. So I just bought, I got what, 2, 4, 6. I bought 8 peaches just to make 1 pint of peach butter to see how it turned out. So what you need to get started is, like I said, peaches. I got a bowl here because we're going to actually peel them, take the pits out of them, and then we're going to put the quarters into this bowl. I am going to set the rinds or the peels aside, and when I get all these quartered, I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you what we're going to do. We're going to put them into a food processor and puree them. So let me get these cut up and get the pits out of them and quartered, and then I'll show you the next step. So hang tight. Okay, I wanted to be a little transparent with you while I finished off the last of these. I bought these peaches like a week ago, like I said, from the produce market, and I've never done peaches before. And because this recipe is not about presentation, meaning I'm not putting slices in a jar, you know, I'm not doing anything like that. I'm just making peach butter. I did these by just cutting around the peach, taking the peel off with my knife here after I cut it in quarters. And I just kind of dug the spoon out with my hand. These are very soft peaches. They should have really already been done. But normally, if you're going to do anything with peaches, apparently you should boil them for a few minutes to soften the skins, and they slip right off. But, you know, I'm just cutting them off with a paring knife. I myself do not like peaches. I am doing this for Lance because he loves peaches, and I wanted to learn how to do something new. So just so you know, this is probably not the most expert, best way to do them. The other thing is that I want you to know is that we are experiencing really heavy storms here today, and the power's been going off and on. So I'm kind of doing this video in segments. Today is Friday, May 10th, and I don't know what the weather is where you are, but here in Florida, it is stormy. So kind of trying to do this in pieces. Anyhow, I have all of my peaches cut up into just, you know, small pieces in the quarters. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this over to my food processor, and I'm going to puree it. I am not aware of anything that you can do with the peach peel. So if you know anything, please comment and let me know. Is there something I can make with them or do with them? Because as of right now, they're going in my compost bin along with the peach pits. Now, I know that you can grow them, but I did say in my video on my newsletter, if you guys all got that we don't know if we're staying here. And I would like to start some peach trees, and I may start some in pots, but right now I just don't have the time or the capability to do that. So unfortunately, they are going to go to our compost bin and maybe grow trees. But all of this is going in the food processor, and as soon as I get that set up, we'll start again. Okay, I have my blender here. I am just going to place these into my blender. Put the lid on. I apologize for the noise, but what I'm going to do right now is I am going to puree these. I want these to be like applesauce when I'm done. I don't want it to be peach juice. I want it to be pureed. So I'm going to do that real quick, and then I'll show you what it looks like. Let me mix this down just a little bit. And we are almost there. It's hard to believe that this is 8 peaches, but it does, you know, come down considerably. Almost there. Okay, I'm not really happy with how this is turning out. There's a lot of really big chunks in there. I don't have my food processor here. I kind of left it at the old house. So I'm going to work on this for just a few minutes and then I will show you the results. I'll be right back. Okay, so I got it to puree down. I don't know if you can see it here. There we go. So now it's just like a slushy puree. And all I'm going to do is turn this oven on. Well, if I plug it in, that would help. We're getting a new oven. I'll tell you this whole fiasco here in just a minute. So I got this oven about 8 years ago, and I love this oven. The problem with this oven is that the control panel, which is this part right here, has gone bad. It'll start beeping at me in a little bit. So when it went bad, I decided to order the new piece so that I could replace it and we could still use my gas oven. And so when I went on to order it, come to find out that you cannot order it because it was discontinued. So I don't have an oven at all. I can only cook on the top. And I couldn't take the beeping that it makes every 5 minutes because the control board is bad. So I had to go and finance a oven, a washer, a dryer, and an upright freezer, all of which completely quit working right before the move happened. So I have all new appliances coming. Not that I wanted to take on the debt, not that I wanted to add more to my credit, but I didn't have a choice because you can't cook without an oven. So that's the story about the oven. Anyway, so my peach butter is on the heat, and all we are going to do is we are going to heat this up as long as it takes to cook this down a little bit. And what it's going to do is it's going to be ready when it's a consistency that on the spoon it kind of piles up, and I'll show you that when it gets ready. In the meantime, I'll catch you up on what's been going on here. So let's see. Well, we had the storm today, like I said, blew limbs down all over the yard after we just cut the grass and got the yard cleaned up, right? Isn't that typical? I wanted to put a garden in. Glad I didn't, because the water apparently sets on this property. It does not drain. So we had just this like lagoon out there all day today. So I need to keep that in mind when I garden. And you know, that's something that if you buy new property, or if you're just moving to a property, even if you're renting like we are right now, you know, sometimes everybody wants to jump in and just start a garden and go planting and putting things in the ground. And let me tell you that I'm glad that I didn't, because all of our seeds would have washed to who knows where. I could have had, you know, vegetables all around the property. So one thing you might want to keep in mind if you are moving to a new property soon, or if you've just moved to one and you think you want to just jump into gardening because you need food, which is what I wanted to do, I don't recommend that you do that. I recommend you get through some rains, see where the water's going to run, see what's going to happen in your area, see, you know, the way everything happens as far as nature goes before you go plant in a garden and it ends up in your neighbor's back field like ours would have. So that's one thing. The other thing is, thank God I moved my car under the carport. Lance has a four-wheeler, we call it the buggy, and two big limbs came down right next to it. I mean, had my car still been there, it probably would have taken the windshield out of my car. So we're learning a lot here in a short period of time. So, and it is raining currently. The weather is really crappy here. It's hot, it's muggy. The mosquitoes here are horrible. So we've been battling that. And if you want a tip for mosquitoes, I just learned this yesterday. And if you have other tips, you know, share it with me. But did you know that if you mix apple cider vinegar and water 50-50, that it actually makes the mosquitoes go away? At least that's what they're telling me. So I got an empty spray bottle, and that's one of the things that I'm going to make today is some apple cider vinegar water mosquito spray to see if it works, because they're horrible here. Lance takes me for a ride every other night so that I can get to learn my way around here, which I'm not doing well. It's a good thing that we have GPS, or I would end up in some back road somewhere lost, calling him saying, come get me. But we went for a ride, and while we were riding, He came up on this river dock where you could, you know, like a boat ramp. And we stopped there and we got out of the car, and I kid you not, I literally opened the door, I walked out, I walked 5 feet, and we ran back to the car because the mosquitoes were so big and biting so bad that I think they were going to pick us up and take us off to another planet because they were just horrible. I don't know what it is around here. There's a lot of swampy land because I'm right on the Georgia borderline. I'm 6 miles from the Georgia border, and there's a lot of swamps, a lot of rivers, a lot of standing water here. So the mosquitoes here are just... they're crazy. They're crazy. They're like little miniature pterodactyls. So I am stirring this because I don't want it to burn. You're supposed to have it on medium heat, it says. And like I said, guys, I've never made this before. You know, I'm learning, and I told you that I wanted you to come along the journey with me, and you literally are coming on the journey. So if this burns and doesn't work, you'll be there with me when it doesn't happen, and you can send me all your comments to tell me what I did wrong and how I screwed it up. But that's how we learn, right? We learn by doing. So I am still stirring this, and I'm going to get out a small little spoon here to see how this is. Ooh, I'm assuming this is like kind of almost done. I don't know. I mean, I guess I could have pureed it down a little more. I'm not sure. Yeah, there's that beeping. But we're going to try this. We're going to do it again and see what this turns out to be. Oh, as soon as I get it into a puree. And I don't think this stove is exactly right here as it is because it said medium to high. And if I had this on medium to high, this is like on 2 and it's already bubbling up. So I'm thinking medium to high might be a little too high for this. Maybe it's just because it's a small amount, but you know, I kind of wanted to make sure this worked before I went and spent $40 on peaches that I don't eat, only he does. And then I screw them all up and we end up wasting money. So we all know homesteading is about trying things, but we learn by our mistakes. But I don't really want to lose $40 worth of food. So I'm going to go ahead and cook this down. I'm going to get it ready and get ready for the next step. And I will come back with some more tips and tricks and show you if this turned out okay and what we're going to add to it and what we're going to do. And then we'll go from there. So I'll be back. Okay, I have cooked this down for about 30-35 minutes to get it to the consistency that I wanted it. What I did do is I lost my spoon. What I did do is I added some honey and I added some cinnamon to this, which a friend of mine told me to try. Basically, when it mounts up on a spoon like so, without just dripping off and running, it is done. Now, I'm going to let this cool. I did not make a lot. As you see, I have a very small pot here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this totally cool down, and then I am going to put this into canning jars and put one in the fridge, and if there's enough for a little one, I'm going to give a gift to Lance's mother and let her try it and see what she thinks. So I used pure honey and just regular cinnamon, ground cinnamon, and maybe like a 1/4 tablespoon of sugar. Just, I don't know why, because I felt like adding that to it. So but at this point, you can water bath can this. I will put the directions in the description below of how to do that, because I'm not doing that. I don't have enough peaches to even warrant putting on my water bath canner for 1 jar. And he's probably going to eat it all in a week or so anyway, because he loves peaches. So it's not going to last long. If he likes it, which I'll let you know, he may not. But anyway, it was simple. It wasn't a hard thing to do. It took me about an hour. You definitely cannot leave this on the stove and walk away even with a lid. Now, I had mine on low, and it could be because, you know, like I said, my stove needs replaced, and it's coming Saturday, the new one. But for right now, it might have just been too much heat. But I couldn't keep it to where it wasn't just splashing all over the lid. And I just stayed with it and kept stirring it. It didn't burn, and it actually turned out really well. So if you've made this before, I'd love to know, you know, is there something you would have done differently? Or did you do it like I did and it turned out? So that is peach butter, my version of it anyway, with the help of Prairie Homestead's original recipe. So the credit's got to go to her. I just added kind of my own little taste and twist to it. Oh, it's good. So anyway, that's it for this week. I have a whole lot of refrigerator full of produce. I'm going to dehydrate some potatoes to make scalloped potatoes and things, and I'll get that video to you too. So I hope you enjoyed this one, and let me know what you think. Have a great day. Bye.